Welcome to our channel, and today we're diving into the origins of Pennywise. In this video, we'll explore the story of Stephen King's cosmic clown, from his literary backstory to his first encounter with the Losers Club. What do you hope to see in the upcoming prequel series, Welcome to Derry? Let us know in the comments. The first thing we need to point out is that Pennywise isn't its true name, if it even has one at all. Rather, Pennywise the Dancing Clown is just one of many forms it takes to hunt its victims, though it's the one most commonly seen in modern times. But for the sake of convenience, we'll be using Pennywise and the simpler It interchangeably to refer to the same shape-shifting entity. Likewise, Pennywise's true, fundamental form is not fully known. While its spider-like appearance may be its original earthly shape, the most likely core of the being lies in the hypnotic orbs of energy known as the deadlights. It's believed that the deadlights are both the source of its power and the prison where the souls of its victims are trapped. Still, it's often what we don't know about Pennywise that makes it so terrifying. Billions of years old, Pennywise originated in a realm beyond the known universe called the Macroverse. Though not explicitly confirmed, Stephen King's Dark Tower series suggests that Pennywise may have been created by a being known as the Other, who could be the godlike figure Gan, the embodiment of the tower itself. One of the 12 guardians of the tower's beams, Maturin the Turtle, is said to have created our universe by vomiting it up after a stomachache. And hey, we've all been there. At some point after the universe's creation, Pennywise made its way to Earth, crash landing in the area that would later become Derry, Maine. Once the town was populated, it began its infamous quarter-century cycle, awakening every 25 to 27 years to feed. Although it doesn't discriminate, Pennywise prefers to prey on children, as their heightened fear makes them taste better, as if being a nightmare clown weren't revolting enough. Presumably having done this for millennia with little resistance, the first recorded appearances of it date back to the 18th century, a few hundred years after settlers first arrived in Maine. While Pennywise holds much of the town under its thrall, with nearly all adults turning a blind eye to its murders, its feeding frenzies are often marked by massive, horrifying tragedies. These are frequently carried out through those it possesses and manipulates, such as the deranged Henry Bowers in the Maine It timeline. The earliest such event occurred in the 1740s, when after a feeding cycle lasting about 3 years, more than 300 settlers in Derry mysteriously vanished in a disappearance eerily similar to the real-life Roanoke colony. Why anyone would want to settle in a cursed place like Derry remains a mystery, unless, of course, you count the mind-controlling clown forcing them to do so. Much like with Henry Bowers, Pennywise possessed a man named John Markson in 1851, driving him to poison his family. Afterward, Markson killed himself, neatly tying up loose ends for the demonic clown. Another of Pennywise's 19th century atrocities came in the 1870s, when it slaughtered a group of lumberjacks, leaving their remains near the real Kentuskeg stream. But this wouldn't be the only lumberjack-related massacre linked to Pennywise. Around the turn of the 20th century, a man named Claude Héreau murdered several people in a bar with a double-headed axe. However, Pennywise's greatest 20th century tragedy was still to come. In 1906, the Kitchener Iron Works exploded. A total of 108 people were killed, 88 of them children who had been taking part in an Easter egg hunt. After such a massacre, one could rightfully assume that this put an end to Pennywise's atrocities in Derry, for the time being. When it returned in 1929, Pennywise orchestrated the slaughter of the Bradley Gang, a group of murderous robbers from Derry. Although nearly all the townsfolk pretended the shootout involving ordinary citizens had never happened, one witness recalled seeing a clown in farmer's clothes joining in. Continuing the string of vile disasters in the 20th century, in 1930, the Black Spot, a nightclub often frequented by black soldiers stationed at a nearby army base, was burned down. The fire was the work of an arson attack carried out by a hate group, the Maine Legion of White Decency. The account was shared by Mike Hanlon's father, Will, who survived the blaze and reported seeing Pennywise in the form of a giant bird with balloons tied to its wings. Interestingly enough, another notable survivor was the cook, a young Dick Halloran, long before he went on to work at the Overlook Hotel. Whether you follow the timeline of the book, the mini-series, or the feature film, this brings us to Pennywise's next major appearance, its infamous battle with the Losers Club. Pennywise, of course, does not survive its second encounter with the Losers as adults, whether through the ritual of chud or a storm of schoolyard taunts. However, if Pennywise's long history has taught us anything, it's that there are countless horrifying stories tied to this terrifying clown.